Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and we are here with our 7th video. I had to look back at my notes. And what we're going to do in this video, we finished our pages. Basically, we have the inside of our album completed. And it is good to let the album rest after you've got this done, because all of this weight will compress things, push down a little bit, and that one page that we're going to be working on, and that one is right here. We are going to add a magnet, and you can see it did finally flatten down, being in the middle of all of these items. So what we're going to work on today is the ephemera portion. So I have gone through and just made some notes. We'd want to add a magnet here. We are going to, and I need to keep that there or else I'll forget. I've pulled some ephemera of where I want it to sit. And again, we're going to be working with chipboard pieces that go with the Candy Kisses collection. I'm also going to be working with the, these are the Cardstock Stickers. That matches, that's something new with the Candy Kisses collection. And then their washi prints that are new as well for Candy Kisses. And then I have all of the different embossed die cuts that I showed in the beginning. Candy Kisses, Candy Florals, Candy Treats, Candy Rose Garden. They are already cut. They're pop-outs from the sheet. And then we have fussy cuts if we want to fussy cut any images as well. And these are with the Candy Kisses, Candy Treats, and Candy Florals. I never know what I'm going to use, what I'm going to pull, or anything like that. So for me, I like to have choices. Now, what's great with the two pattern packs, whether it's the 12 by 12 or the 6 by 6 for the Candy Kisses collection, you do get cut-aparts, and they work well also within your journal. And then your 6 by 6, they are just smaller. So you have many options. What I'm going to do first is work on the two outer portions, the left and the right, to add my embellishments. Now, when I say embellishments, it can be ephemera, it can be ribbon, it can be just all kinds of different things that we can think of and come up with. For our first section here, I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm going to bend it. I'm going to pull out our panel. I'm going to hold that down, and I'm going to dig for my mini stapler. And I'm just going to put that there and staple that onto the panel. And that's perfect. All right, so now we have, when we have this in here, we have this little decoration coming off, and then we even have some ribbon coming out of the top, which I very much enjoy. I'm not going to do anything here. I want to keep this flat. I do feel that there is enough here. Again, letting the pattern paper do the work for us is wonderful because it will do it beautifully for us. So always keep that in mind The pattern paper does so much already. Okay, so here I've pulled out some pieces. I just want to add a few decorations to our piece. I'm just going to add this little bit, this small card here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue here and here. So we're going to create this little pocket. I am going to switch my glue bottle to a fine tip so that I can get a very fine line of glue to go down the two sides. And I'm just going to set that in place. And now we've got this little tiny tuck or pocket. I'm going to take, this is one of the chipboard stickers, which is nice. Now again, these are the, I was very fortunate to be sent the prototypes. So I just have to do a little bit of trimming because I did pull this off wrong. So my bad. There we go. And I'm going to keep that turned upside down real quick. And I want to take this and I'm going to tear it. Because again, we can make our pattern paper look like washi tape as well. And I'm just going to put a small strip going across. So we still have our pocket. And I'm going to pull out that center. And I'm just going to set that off on an angle. So it just adds a little bit of decoration when you go to flip this up. And again, we have a spot for some tags. You can put a photo, whatever you would want to. So sticking with the polka dot theme, I've got a couple there. These are just tags that I made from the pattern paper, and I used the solid cardstock for the pieces as well to just fill in. These are journaling spots. These are photo mats, whatever you would want. And because I have that there, when we flip, these are not going to fly around. It's just something to think about. I'm going to set this right in here. And you don't want to put too much in your pockets. You want to be aware of that because again, this is the closure, so you don't want this to pop out. So maybe instead of having 2 tags in there, we just put 1, and then we have that. So I think we're good on that side. For this side, we have another one of the sticker pieces. I'm going to pop out that center. These have a wonderful adhesion to them. And what I think I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to grab, I've got all my solid cardstock scraps here that we used. And I'm going to place this down and just give it a small, very small border. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors and I'm going to continue to cut around that. So you can make tags with the ephemera that you have. And we've got that will sit there. And then I want to do the same thing with this one because I just want them to sit like this. I think they'll just be really cute. And a great accent for each other. And I tore that one off wrong, but that's okay. So this is my boo-boo. I do like the weight of these cardstock stickers. It's a nice weight. And again, just putting a very fine border around this. You could also use the pattern paper to go around these. But I do think that these will look great going up this piece. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to have this one coming down here. And I'm going to grab my small hole punch. And I'm just going to put a little bit of twine. Just a thin amount in each of these. Just to add a little interest. Again, you don't want to go too bulky. We have a lot of bulk already with our flips and our pockets. And don't get me wrong, I love adding all of this. So this is a very difficult part for me because I just want to keep on adding. I like adding all of these embellishments to this. Now I'm going to make sure that this piece is even with my bottom of the strap here, because we don't want it to go below or else we're not going to be able to flip this open. So we need to make sure that that's going to come down. And then when we close that, we have the snap. And then we have this. And then we'll put this one just like that on an angle. Absolutely. Because that's what I do. And always just hold that there just for a little bit. And now those two are decorated. I'm going to move this off to the side. And now we're going to focus on our pages. So I'm going to put all the tags and the cards that I've put together, because they're going to go throughout the book. So for this one here, I want to first add a really cute little charm for this. And I'm going to use some of the pattern paper, this beautiful rose pattern. And I'm going to use this as the back. I'm going to pull in one of my circle punches. Just get one of these roses in there. And then get our polka dots. I want to make the polka dots look good. There we go. And what we can do is we just need to add glue to the center here. Get our string in there. And then get our second piece on top. I'm going to clean my fingers with the glue. And then we just squeeze that together. So now we have a dangle using our paper for our tie. Here, what we're going to do, I have my pieces here. I'm going to focus on the sides, and what I'm going to do is I am going to use my circle punch and just eyeball the center and take a small notch out of each of the red pattern paper pieces. Again, does not need to be perfect. I love the way that these are flying. And we are going to put these on the inside of our doors. These are going to be shallow pockets. And we're going to put glue on 3 sides. And we'll start with the bottom. Just keeping that small border. And there's going to be 2 on each panel. Now, you do not have to have or use the circle punch to create the notch. You can just keep them flat because they'll definitely see that we have the difference in the papers. We have our pockets. Now, the great thing is you don't necessarily have to have a tag. You can just take your pattern paper I'm just going to take my long shears and go up. And you can just tuck pieces of your pattern paper in here. And that's something that they can use to create their tabs, to create their own journals, notations, their own decorations. But again, we want to keep that flat. We don't want to have this be too crowded, if that makes sense. And like this one here, you can just cut that in half. So just a little something for decoration. Here I have little tiny tucks that we're going to put in. So basically we have these three. I am going to leave the pattern papers alone because again, they can be photo mats as well, where you can just put your pictures on there. So I'm not going to do any decoration. And again, I don't want to add any more bulk to the center so that the recipient can use their photos. So what I'm doing, I've just created strips out of the pattern paper, and I'm just going to put a bead of glue down along the bottom and get this in place. And I'm going to do that for all three. I kept the little strip for the end paper on there as well. I thought that added a nice touch, a little bit of color. And what we can also add in here is some washi. So this is what's great with washi. We have all of these beautiful hearts. So we can add a little tiny heart that just comes off that. And again, just to give a little hint of color, I'm going to stick with all the same size. And they're flat. They're not going to take away any room, any area for the photos. That is what's really nice with the washi. And very sticky, which is nice. So now we've got, just to show, it's a full tuck. So they can just take a picture and set that right in there like that, or a note. You don't have to take anything out. It's completely open all the way across. All right, so that is that. So now I'm going to close this up. And then we have our little charm sitting there as well. Okay, for this side, I've already got a couple pieces here. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon. I'm going to angle it. I'm going to hold that down. Grab my stapler. Staple that down, because I don't want to add anything else to this. Again, it's the closure of this. So I am going to add these couple of items. Going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this here and just put our glue on our two sides, because our solid cardstock, again, can be a photo mat. It can be a journaling spot. You know, maybe they're putting a picture here in this area, and you can journal about it above. But I am just falling in love with these tags. This is another one of those cardstock tags. I'm going to pop that center out again. And again, keeping that underneath flat, you know, not adding bulk on that flip. And then for down here, since we see this, I fell in love with these two washi tape images. And I'm just going to put that one there. I love that these, I mean, they are washi tape. I absolutely love that. So they do have, they are transparent. And I'm going to put that on an angle as well. I love to collage. Absolutely love it. And I'm going to look at my, I'm going to go into the Candy Floral Die Cuts. Now, since I know I'm not putting anything else there, of course, we don't need to add anything here because we've got that beautiful bug. And we've got the surprise when we pull that out. Let's see if I can just find a tiny, and we can, I'm actually going to cut this because we can do that. And I'm just going to put that there again to give this collage effect. I am going to glue this down completely. You could just put glue along the bottom. And then I think I'm going to create an angle there. And I am going to glue this one down flat as well. You'll see me in other areas make more tucks, create more of those spaces. But we have those florals going across the bottom of that page now. So we've got side 1, side 2 already decorated. Let's move on to, I'm just going to keep these here. Let's get on to 3. Now, this one, we do want to add a magnet. So I am going to turn this over, and I'm going to use, I'm going to go into the Candy Treats Die Cuts. Love that. Okay. So that's what I'm going to use to hide that. And let's see, it's a shop. Isn't she pretty? Okay. let's do that. I'm going to make sure I get these back in their cases, or else I'm going to lose my pieces, and I don't want that to happen. And then I think I'm going to put that there. I really like that because, and I think yeah, okay, so let's grab my magnets. If I can. There we go. I always get it onto metal. And I need my double-sided tape. I'm going to put this here. I know that I want it right there. And I'm going to get that stuck down. All right, now we're going to move that. Got that there. I need my second piece. Now this is going to be a little tricky, but not too bad. So I'm really going to push that down. I'm going to put this in on an angle. I want it to be centered. Okay, and now we're going to push. And of course it didn't go down. It went down. All right, so I'm going to put that right there so that it's somewhat hidden, because I like the little surprise. See, you can hardly see it. All right, so now we're going to remove the release paper, make sure that magnet is there. And we're going to glue this whole thing down. I'm always looking at, okay, how is the recipient going to use this? In what way do they want to use this? So that we don't create something that could be cumbersome. Now, I do have the tie that some could say, okay, well, that's kind of cumbersome. You've really got to take time to untie that. And true, very true. I just think it looks cool. Just saying. Again, but it's not too cumbersome. Now, on this one, I only put glue going down a certain way because this can be a tuck on the other side where we can put a picture, you know, a small one where that cluster will be there. So now we've got that, and it's not going to come forward now, because before there was a lot of weight. I didn't make this too big. So when we lift, we already have these and this. So I don't need to add too many more embellishments. But what I will add here are some of the tags. We can put a tag here. And we can put a tag there. So we've got a couple of those. This will close down. this is our closure. And there you go. That one is all set now also. So now we have here, and you can tell I was in here because I didn't tie this completely. And we can have fun on the bottom here. So when we open this, now we could certainly put things inside here if we wanted to. Or we can put items here. But I kind of like that bright black just popping right there. Now this is our double accordion. We have a top and a bottom, and kind of did the same thing. I've got 4 of our strips that we're going to do just as we did before, and these here we're going to do the same thing that we did to the other doors. Again, just eyeballing the center, letting those fly, just cutting out a small notch. And then getting these in place. And again, just adding, they really do fly, don't they? I'm actually going to get our strips in here. And again, I am just adding a strip going down the bottom, and I'm putting it very low to the bottom. We'll start putting our pockets in. And then our last 2. And you can see, again, it does not take much glue when you're going around the sides. And you just want to make sure you have a nice thin bead. Again, not going to put anything on the pattern papers. Again, we're letting those papers do their thing. I'm going to go back into the Candy Kisses Die Cuts. Yes. And I want to look for something here because, again, one, these are beautiful. So we can put that there. I love this chair. And we can actually put a couple chairs there, one straight on and one there. And again, you can see I'm putting it behind the panel. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up a certain area. Going to bring that down. And then going to do the same thing with this one. And what you're creating are these little tucks, so that they can put something behind this, because you don't need much. Now for these here, again, because your die cuts, they're flat. you know, they're not thick. I'm going to go into the Candy Treats Embossed Die Cuts and see if I can find something tiny. And yes, oh, let me have one more. Yes. So we have these. And it's just a cute little way to embellish. And again, we can do the same thing. Just add a little bit of glue to the bottom. And they too can become tuck spots. And again, they're just little places for tiny bits of ephemera to sit. So we have all of these wonderful pieces being tucked away. And now we just have our last two strips. So you can always choose how much and how little embellishments that you want. You've just got to remember how it's going to function afterwards. All right, and now this will get closed, and now we're done with this, and now we can tie her up securely. And for our next step, you do want to make sure that this is tied up securely. We need to make sure that there's not going to be anything flapping or moving when it comes time for us to put our pages onto our hinge. So we want to make sure everything is in its place. So I'm going to pull this tight. I'm going to push this down and pull it. And then we're going to add our bow. My bows always twist up. And pinch that. All right. So now, side 3, and I know it's 3 because my opening's to the right, and side 4. Okay, let's move on to 5 and 6, and here we're going to be adding a magnet as well, and we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other page. For this, I absolutely love that. All right, first I'm going to create a side tuck because we can. Tucks do not just have to be on the bottom. They can certainly be on the side. And now I just need a magnet. And we're going to put it there. And even though it's a band, it's okay. We're going to make it work. Because wait till you see what we can do with that band. So I want that to be in the center. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to put 2 in here. So, and I should have put 2, honestly, on my on my waterfall in the back. So I'm going to get a longer piece, and I'm going to put that one there. And I'm going to put this one here. And we're going to get these in place in the center. I'm going to grab 2 more. That's funny. That's not good. Yep. Hello. There we go. All right. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put this down. And then we're going to put this one down. There we go. I am going to take this and let's see if I can pick it up. Nope. Okay, I think I did. I just got to straighten it out. All right. So now we have that. All right. For this, we're going to decorate, and I'm going to be pulling in. I want the roses. So I'm going to go into the Candy Rose Garden Embossed Die Cuts. I really want to have a focus of roses in here. There's that beetle again. Too adorable. And I want to focus so yeah, I absolutely love that. And I do love the clock as well. So the clock is going to go in there because it's a little steampunky. That's kind of me. And I'm just pushing down, and that is not going to go anywhere. Okay. But what's cool is we do have that belly band that we can use as well. We're not going to right now. I am then going to put this up here as well. And I think I'm going to put it that way. So I'm going to remove the release paper. And I'm going to glue this one down completely. I really want to wrap around those magnets. Here we go. And we still have our tuck spot. So again, and we can tuck something like that as well. So we're not losing anything when it comes to our pieces when we have to make these changes. And that's what's great about this. Now for this one, I'm going to add, I can add a tall panel, which is fun. Oh, hear that click? And I can add another panel here. And let's add a nice big tag as well. And then that just comes right down and closes. So that side is now done. Here we're looking at, we have a magnet here, which is fine because that's our closing mechanism, which is absolutely cool. Now, this is the same piece that we have before from the Candy Rose Garden, so that's funny. I don't want to use it again, but I am going to pull in one of our cutouts, cut-aparts from our pattern paper. Why not? And I'm going to grab, I'm just going to clean up just a little bit here, just pushing all of these wonderful snippets out of the way. I'm going to grab some black cardstock. I think that will be striking because it'll pop it. A very thin border, nothing too crazy. And I'm just going to use my long shears to cut this out. And I'm just going to center that on the page. So I'm only going to put glue on half of this piece. But I do want this piece to be centered. And I'm just going to push that down. So that's going to hide the piece that's underneath and can act as that ledge for that. So you get this multiple layered effect. For this side over here, I think I'm going to keep on putting in strips of cardstock. And again, you don't have to measure. I think that one, well, that one just kind of works perfectly. And we'll put that down. And again, it's a tuck. So if they didn't want to glue their photo in, they don't have to. They can tuck the photo right there. This here, we can put this one in on that. I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. And you can use a paper trimmer for that. I'm just going to put that right there. And I think I'm going to pull in some green. You can also put these on the top. And then our last one. I'm going to let those like this. For this one here, I'm going to pull in I love this washi. I have been dying to use this washi. And what's great is you can write over this. So we are going to put that down there. And now we have side 6 done. So there's 5. We fixed that. And you know, along Okay. On the bottom here, let's look at no. No. I don't know. I found them. Okay. Going to carefully line this up. Very sticky. Nice. And we will take our scissors and trim that. And then save the rest. So there we go. Okay. Checking the strength of that magnet. And then we're coming into this. So when I come back, we're going to work on our center mechanism there. And then we'll see what we're going to do here. Okay, for our 7th, we are going to add a magnet as well. And we're going to have this dual. Well, no, we're not actually adding a magnet. We're adding something small here. So I'm using the small chipboard piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mat this onto black cardstock. And then this will be the centerpiece for all of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut some small squares. And that's what I'm going to prop this up on just a little bit. So we're going to put this down in the center. And this is not something that anyone's going to see. We got the next one. And now we will take our little piece and we're going to place that down right in the center. So that now will hold our pieces. And it's going to be like the stopper for some. So now we would just take this and it'll turn out. And then we can tuck it back in. Because you can see it's kind of like stopping that one. Stopping that one. Stopping these. So they won't continue to spin. And that's what you're looking for with that. That's all we needed to do on this signs. Now, what we could do too is we could add some more washi tapes there. But again, we're going to move on to 8. So here we've got our inside pieces. And I've got the small tucks here, and I'm going to make these skinnier. Because they don't have to be, even though they're holding photos, they don't have to be huge. And then we'll put these here. Now for in here, we can look at some of the chipboard, but I'm really holding off on the chipboard pieces for outside of the album. So let's stick with our cardstock pieces. Or our washi tape. And I think for this, I'm going to go back into the Candy Florals. And I know I want to revisit. And I've got these as well. I need to make sure they get in there. And we can even put these here, even though there's pattern paper on the back. You can also put this here because I love that one. That is just like my favorite. I'm going to put that right down in the corner. I only put glue on 2 sides. And you'll just see a peek of it. And I want to put one up top in this corner to come down around another way. Let's see. Do we have? We do. I love these mugs. Love, 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 love. And again, just a thin line. Put those there. I'm going to place one of these tickets here. And I'm going to place the other one up top. So just making it look a little different. There we go. So again, boom, 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 boom. All right, all of our pages are decorated. So now, when I come back, what we're going to do is we are going to put our pages into our book. So we are going to get our sides attached down onto our hinges. This takes patience. We want to make sure that we breathe, but I promise you, this can be done. Yes, I'm talking myself into this. Absolutely. This always stresses me out, but it's okay. It's all for good. All right. So when we come back, we will have everything ready for our book. Okay, here we go. We've got our book. Now, usually I start from the back and work towards the front. Because I have this, I do not believe that I will be able to get this flat. And what I mean by that is I need to be able to see this and this. I can do that on this side. So I'm going to remove that panel. And we're going to start on this side going this way. Either way is fine. It's just something that I am more comfortable with. Now, the trick that I am about to show you is what I have seen on YouTube and grateful for when I saw it. Here is our first completely decorated hinge page. What I'm going to do first is pull off part of my release paper. And it's good to have one of these pokey tools with an angle. And I'm going to fold it down and crease. Here's where this tab comes in. I want to get my hand in here, get it open, and get my hand in the other side, and I want to make sure my fingers are touching, and they are. I'm going to bring this down. So remember, our hinge is 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to move that panel too. Remember, our hinge is 3/4 of an inch, and we put 1/2 inch double-sided tape on our hinge. That is what's going to guide us. We're going to put our book even, our page, even with that line of double-sided tape here. And we're going to press in that corner. I'm going to let it drop. I'm going to hold that down. And I am now going to release the rest of the line. And I can see a small piece still there. So I'm going to real quick grab it. And I'm going to angle my page back down and push down. And let the double-sided tape adhere. I'm going to bring this over and say, yes, I am even. I'm then going to come over here. I'm going to take this curved tool. I'm going to push it up in there far so that I can grab this release paper and continue to pull. I'm going to lift it back up and I'm going to press it down. And then I'm going to run my fingers through this. our first page is in. So with a 3/4 of an inch hinge and 1/2 inch double-sided tape, that's why we want to get this as far up to the top as we can, because then we can use this bottom line of the double-sided tape to adhere our page. It'll guide us so that that'll help us be even as we put these on. I'm going to put my panels back in on each side because one, they won't get lost, and two, I won't have that flap. We are now going to repeat with the next one. I'm going to come in, going to remove part of the release paper, come about 1/3 down. I'm going to grab my next page. I look for that tab. I put my hand in there and I look and I start putting that on my hinge. I don't want to push all the way up because I want my pages to be even. I'm looking for my double-sided tape line because that's where my page is going to sit. I'm going to press down, hold it, pull my release paper, look, and press down. I'm going to turn, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to dig, push her up, and see if I can get that release paper out. This is where patience comes in. It will work. See, there you go. I'm going to lift this up just a little bit. I'm going to pull her out. And then I'm going to push. I always like to tilt back up and push down. Our second page is in. We're going to rinse and we're going to repeat. The key is to make sure that's the sticky, so that when I'm opening this, I am seeing through that opening. That's what you want to make sure. Now these are going to flap a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to take this. I'm going to get that down, and again, I'm looking for the edge of my tape line. I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to hold this in place as I pull out my release paper. I'm going to look for my tape again and press down. And when I'm looking, I'm just checking to make sure, okay, am I straight? Does it look straight? Am I really off? That's what I'm making sure. Is it going to be perfect? Well, there might be a mistake. You know, you might be a little crooked. But again, it's okay. It'll work itself out. No one's going to look and say, oh, this is crooked. No, they're going to look at everything else that you have going on in your album. And over time, you will get better at this. Absolutely. This will become second nature. And then I'm just going to squeeze along that. I'm looking, and yep, my pages are pretty even, so I am happy. There is a slight shift that I can see, but it's nothing where I would go, okay, I got to start all over again. Nope. We don't do that. Our last page. Again, get your hand in that center. Look for that opening. we can see it. Wrap this on. We're going to line it up. I'm going to push down. I'm going to remove my release paper. I'm going to slide this side down just a little bit. Push down. And this is where you really do want a good double-sided tape, because you're not doing a combination. You're not putting double-sided tape and liquid adhesive down in here. You're just relying on that double-sided tape. And I have score tape or U-line. They are the ones. So when I lift these up, just very small shifts, I can now remove my sticky notes. That sticky note. And there we go. Our album is now put together. And there you go. You can see I'm not alligatoring, meaning they're not doing this. They are flat. There's a little bit, and there's a little room even if I make them flat. So if I push them in on the 1/4 inch the way that they should be, because when you wrap it, even though it's a 3.5 inch spine, it kind of goes into 4. They're parallel. This is the only area that's pushing in just a little bit. Otherwise, I have a lot of room throughout my pieces. I am extremely happy with it. Okay, so you can see that when it opens, she slides down and our pages turn. Now this one I'm a little concerned with because that magnet just does not want to hold. And I don't know why. But that's okay. Maybe. No. It's holding. I don't know why it's not. We have our spinners. We have this and we have that. And that's how it will look. So, stay tuned. And in our next video, which will be the last video that we put things together. This was a lot to decorate. I'm going to continue through. I still have some tags and other items that I'm going to fill in throughout the journal in areas that I can see. You know, we can put something here. Again, I'm all about fun, interest. Yeah, she just does not want to stay. But yet she's grabbing when I do this. Very odd. Very odd. And so you can even put them here. But I don't want to add any more weight to that. So we'll find some pockets. We'll put the rest of these tags and all of the other places just to fill this in. This is the big pocket where all of the other tags are going to go. We could even put some in front right there, and they will be held by that magnet. And you can really have, this is really going to hold because it's a double magnet. And that's probably what I should have done on the other one. So here we just have explosions of tags and other items in that pocket. So we are now full and we're still not alligatoring. So this is all we're going to put into the album. When we come back, we're going to work on the cover the spine and the back cover. And I'm going to show you how you can take a Christmas flower and turn it into an everyday flower, because we can do that. Why not? Let's have fun with it. I do hope you're enjoying this series. All the products that I used or even mentioned will be listed down in the video description, and you have any questions, please make sure you leave those down below in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, make sure you ring the bell for notifications. You don't want to miss the next video that'll be ready for you to watch. But most of all, enjoy the process and enjoy creating your art. Have fun with it and come up with new ideas and just give them a try. You never know what you're going to come up with. But most of all, always remember, be creative in everything that you do every day. Continue to stay safe and healthy. And I will talk to you in the next video. Till then, take care.